Consumer Reports just exposed 5 SUVs so reliable, they're calling them almost suspicious. And here's the twist. The premium brands you'd expect to lead the rankings didn't even come close to the top. In fact, the SUV sitting at number 1 is a model most shoppers literally walk right past at the dealership. But before we get there, I'm going to reveal the one mistake almost 99% of buyers make that ends up costing them thousands in depreciation, overpriced warranties, and repair bills once these SUVs pass 50,000 miles. And there's a hidden pattern behind all 5 of these SUVs that explains why some run past 250,000 miles without breaking a sweat, while others start falling apart before they even reach 50,000. Alright, let's start with the SUV nobody expects to be this good. It looks simple, even a little boring at first, but the reliability data behind it is on another level. The Mazda CX5. This SUV has no business being this reliable, and yet it keeps outperforming vehicles that cost twice as much. Consumer Reports dropped an 88 on the Mazda CX5, but honestly, that number doesn't fully capture how reliable this SUV really is. While most automakers are racing to pack in more tech, more sensors, and more things that can break, Mazda took a completely different approach. They focused on simplicity and refinement. What really makes the CX5 stand out is what it doesn't have. No overcomplicated systems, no fragile features, no unnecessary tech that turns into expensive repairs later on. It's built to last, not to impress in a showroom. From a financial standpoint, it's just as strong. The CX5 holds its value better than most competitors in its class, which means you're not just saving on repairs, you're avoiding the massive depreciation hit that catches most buyers off guard. The Mazda CX5 holds around 67% of its value after 3 years. That puts it right up there with some of the most trusted names in the industry, and ahead of plenty of SUVs trying to justify a much higher price tag. When a vehicle is this well-built and this consistent, buyers notice it, and the resale value reflects that. But as dependable as the CX5 is, the next SUV flips the script completely. It's loaded with hybrid technology, and somehow ends up being just as reliable. The Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid. This SUV shouldn't be this reliable, not with the amount of hybrid tech packed into it. And yet, it's one of the most consistent performers on this list. Consumer Reports gave it a 90, but honestly, that number doesn't fully explain what's going on here. Because on paper, this setup should be more complicated. You've got an electric motor, battery system, regenerative braking, and a gas engine all working together. That's a lot of moving parts, and in most vehicles, that usually means more problems over time. But Toyota didn't build this system from scratch. They refined it. The same hybrid architecture has been used for years across multiple models, quietly proving itself in real-world conditions with hundreds of thousands of miles behind it. And that's why owners aren't seeing the usual hybrid issues. The battery degradation is minimal, the transitions between electric and gas are smooth, and the drivetrain just keeps doing its job without drama. What really makes this SUV stand out is how efficiently everything works together. The engine isn't constantly under stress, the electric motor takes over when it needs to, and the entire system is designed to reduce wear instead of increase it. Less strain means longer life, and financially, it's just as smart. The Corolla Cross Hybrid holds its value extremely well, sitting around 72% after 3 years, which puts it right in line with some of the most trusted vehicles in the segment. Lower fuel costs, fewer repairs, and strong resale. This is where reliability turns into real savings. But as impressive as the Corolla Cross Hybrid is, the next SUV shocked me even more. It looks just as practical on the surface, but the reliability data behind it is on another level entirely. The Subaru Outback Wilderness. This isn't just a reliable SUV. It's the kind of vehicle that seems built to outlast everything around it. Consumer Reports gave it a 93, but once you see how it performs in the real world, that number almost feels like an understatement. This thing has been pushed through conditions most vehicles never survive. Extreme heat, freezing cold, rough terrain that exposes weaknesses fast. And it just keeps going without showing signs of stress. Where most SUVs start to struggle, this one stays composed. Subaru didn't end up here by luck. They had problems to fix, and they knew it. Instead of small updates, they completely reworked key components, improved the materials, and tightened up the areas that used to fail. But the real advantage comes from something most people overlook. Subaru kept things simple. They avoided adding layers of complicated tech that tend to break over time, and focused on systems that are proven to last. Fewer weak points, fewer long-term issues. And that carries over financially. The Outback Wilderness holds right around 70% of its value after 3 years, which puts it ahead of a lot of more expensive SUVs. When something is this dependable and this well thought out, buyers recognize it, and the resale value follows. But as indestructible as the Outback feels, the next SUV doesn't rely on toughness at all. In fact, it does everything the opposite way, and somehow, it works even better. The Honda CRV Hybrid. This might be the most predictable SUV on this list, and somehow, that's exactly what makes it so hard to beat. Consumer Reports dropped a 94 on it, but the real story isn't the score. It's how this thing just refuses to develop problems, because while other brands are chasing complexity, Honda kept this SUV brutally simple where it matters. No experimental systems, no over-engineered features, just a hybrid setup that's been refined over years and pushed to a point where failure is extremely rare. And that's where things start to separate. The electric motor takes pressure off the engine, the system avoids the usual stress points you see in traditional drivetrains, and everything is designed to reduce wear instead of accelerate it. Less strain, fewer breakdowns. In the real world, it shows. Owners aren't reporting the typical issues that start creeping in after a few years. No widespread battery failures, no transmission complaints, no random electrical problems. It just keeps running the way it did on day one. But what really makes the CRV Hybrid stand out is how consistent it is. There are no surprises, no sudden repair bills, no drop-off in performance over time. It's the kind of SUV that quietly does everything right while others slowly start falling apart. And financially, it's just as impressive. The CRV Hybrid holds close to 75% of its value after 3 years, putting it right alongside some of the strongest performers in the industry. Low running costs, strong resale, and long-term reliability, that combination is hard to beat. But as solid as the CRV Hybrid is, the final SUV takes everything you've seen so far and flips it. It's more advanced, more complex, and somehow it ends up being the most consistent of them all. The Lexus RX 350h. This is where things stop making sense, because SUVs built like this aren't supposed to be this reliable. And yet, this one keeps proving everyone wrong. Consumer Reports dropped a 95 on it, and even that doesn't fully explain what's happening here. Because when you break it down, this setup should be a risk. You've got a hybrid system constantly switching between power sources, electronics managing everything in real time, and a level of refinement that usually comes with long-term trade-offs. That's where most vehicles start to slip, but not this one. Instead of rushing new tech into production, this system has been quietly refined over years. Every weak point has already been exposed, tested, and improved long before it reached drivers. So what you're getting isn't something new, it's something already proven, and that shows up where it matters most. No widespread failure patterns, no major hybrid system complaints, no drop-off as the miles start stacking up. It just keeps delivering the same smooth, predictable performance year after year. What really separates it is how controlled everything feels. The engine isn't constantly under pressure, the electric motor handles the load when needed, and the entire system is designed to minimize wear instead of creating it. Less stress across the board means fewer things go wrong over time, and financially it holds its ground. The RX 350h keeps around 70 to 75% of its value after 3 years, putting it right alongside the strongest performers in this entire segment. Lower running costs, strong resale, and long-term consistency, it all adds up. These SUVs expose something the industry hopes most buyers never figure out. Reliability isn't accidental. It's not luck. It's built in from the ground up. The vehicles that consistently dominate Consumer Reports rankings don't get there by chasing trends, stuffing in features, or relying on marketing hype. They get there by being engineered to last at 200,000 miles, not just impress at 30,000. Because once the warranty ends, that's when the real difference shows up. Some SUVs start draining your wallet with repairs, rising costs, and depreciation that hits harder than you expected. Others just keep going, quietly saving you money year after year. That's the difference between buying something that looks good and buying something that actually holds up. So now I want to hear from you. Which one surprised you the most, and which one would you actually trust to last long term? Drop it in the comments below. And if this video helped you avoid a bad decision, hit that like button and subscribe, because I break down the reliability truths most people don't see until it's too late. Your next SUV shouldn't just look good in the driveway. It should still be running strong when everything else is falling apart.